Hey everyone, welcome to our studio today. So glad you joined us today and hope you're painting along with us. But if you're not, just hope you enjoy watching it. We're doing a totally different project than what we normally do. Normally we do fine art mainly, and sometimes we'll sneak something else in, but this is more like a sign project. And as I told you on last week, that the brushes I'm using is a lot different than the ones we use to do the fine art with. And we got a very special guest today, my cousin. Mickey, we're so glad to have you. And if you want to holler at us, just say anything you want to. Okay. We enjoy the company. Okay, I'm going to mix up a little bit more of that red. Now again, this is sign paint. This is not fine art paint. It works a little bit different, but you can do about the same with it. Back when we was in the sign business, when we had to paint pictures, hamburgers or hot dogs or whatever, we would mix the sign paint into it. One thing about sign paint as opposed to the fine art paint, sign paint will usually last a little longer outside in the weather or anywhere really. Uh-oh. Sometimes I'm cutting them a little close there. Trying not to do that. I'm doing it all freehand. Now, I love doing this kind of work. Like I say, when I was talking to you last week, it's sort of repetitive because you got to do a lot of things twice, 3 times sometimes. But I don't mind there. And sometimes you have to double coat, and especially red. All right, we're getting it. Now I've already painted the little windows. They're dry. I done them mainly. The reason I done them beforehand is I wanted to be able to lay my hand down wherever I wanted to instead of using a maul stick. Although we can use a maul stick. Matter of fact, I'm going to dip that in my paint. This is a medium. This is a mixture of regular thinner and boiled linseed oil. Now, if you're using linseed oil, make sure you get boiled, because linseed oil will never dry. But boiled linseed oil will dry. Now sometimes when you go over a line, it's easier to just come back and pull it again with the color that you need to. Now I'm just trying to get around these little bolts. Okay, we about got that little window. Now we're going to do this one. And I was talking to you about the, I'm going to pull a little color out. Now I'm going to go to the next window and work on it. And I was talking to you about a maul stick. This is a maul stick. That's artists and sound painters use it to study your hand. In other words, I can lay this there and lay my hand, and then it's real steady. See, I can go around that real easy. Now sometimes it takes a little practice sometimes, but you can do it. Now I'm going to drop that back down there. I just wanted to show you how to use it a little bit. Now I'm going to pull this line freehand. I don't talk too much when I'm trying to pull something real tedious. Now I don't have much room here, so I'm going to try to get that by there and leave the black, which I did. Got another one here pretty close. Now I'm going to stop there because as you lay this brush down, the stroke gets wider. With the tip of it, I'll show you. I can go by there and not touch that black at all, you see. Now I'm pulling all of this freehand. If you need to hold a maul stick to do it, perfectly all right to do that. It helps a lot if you're not very nervous doing this. Now I just dropped a little more color there and a little the medium. There you go. I'm trying to see that line so as not to go over it. Okay, now we've got to go back and pull around each one of these. And I'll fill it in. as I go. All right. I really hope y'all enjoy these projects. I love doing different types of projects. And this is definitely a different type. That silver's drying already. I'm going to get a little more media there because my color's dragging a little bit again. Now there is another way to do this whole job. Uh, One way, you could paint the red solid, make a tracing or a pounce pattern, and then draw your little diamonds in there, or your bolts, and paint them over the red. But we already had the whole ship already drawn and designed, and so we're just following through as best we can. I want to show you why I chose this little brush. Now, I want to show you this little brush. The reason I chose it, you see, it's angle brush. And you can really reach right down into a little point there with this brush and really get some fine detail. Not quite as much as you can with a liner brush. And I could have done all this. I could have outlined it with a liner brush. You could not fill in with a liner brush. That's one reason I chose this brush, because I can outline it and also fill in with it. All right, we got one little spot to go. One little spot. What do you say? We got it. All right, I'm going to rinse this brush out, and I'll be right back.